Even an extended blowout time, just trying to find any kind of rhythm for the Nuggets. Look at Plumlee drawing a charge.
Well, I mean, but that's...
I'm saying he's had rebounds, he's had dunks.
And maybe you take a look at that in next game and say, do we get Plumlee in the lineup just for some energy a little bit earlier?
Okay, now I'm going to throw one thing at you we haven't seen from Michael Malone, and that's Plumlee and Jokic together.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, you know, but the problem is...
Even for a short burst, though.
You know, but with the starting lineup of the Jazz, who is he going to guard?
Right.
That's the issue, especially with the way Utah plays. With a lot of movement, in particular off the dribble, he now becomes that liability outside on the perimeter.
Well, you just answered a really key question there, because with Ingles and Royce O'Neal as wings, then three-pointer dropped in by Rajon Tucker. You know, Jokic can't go out and deal with Ingles at the three-point line.
Well, maybe, you know, you look at starting Jeremy Grant.
And a nice finish and the foul there by Dozier. But there will be a lot of chess match discussion, because the one thing that is certain for games 2 and 3, the Utah Jazz have been flat out excellent. And there's a way to look at it. What's Denver not doing? Got to give Utah credit. They've been brilliant.
Focused. But here's the thing you got to caution yourself against, because you had 2 outstanding games back-to-back if you're the Jazz. You can't settle.
Yeah.
Because all it takes is one spark for this Denver team to feel good about themselves, and now it's tied back up, and now momentum feels like, okay, Denver feels like we've taken their best shot, but we've recovered.
Right. Well, especially it'd only be 2-1. Kind of keep re-emphasizing as Moutier scored on the other end. Not a lot of time to think about it, playing every other day as these series go on with no travel and nowhere to go because you're with your teammates. Bol Bol! He was the tallest Nugget ever to hit a 3 in the regular season. Let's add that note for the postseason. And the foul for likely to get Plumlee out of the game. Bol Bol is 7-2. He's got 9 points. And didn't we say size and shooting? What if it comes in the same guy?
Hey, different game, bro. It is a different game right now. But, you know, it's funny, when his father was in Golden State and Nelly was the coach.
Yeah. He'd let him shoot a 3.
Let him shoot the 3.
Oh, the Oakland Coliseum would go nuts when he made it.
That's right. I played against his father.
Noah Vonleh couldn't quite flip it over. What'd you think when Manute hoisted a 3?
That's funny. and you know, when he would do it too, you know, back in the day, would come on all the highlights on TV, because he was out there standing there shooting 3.
Because he was 7-7. It has been all Jazz and 2-1. The NBA playoffs at TNT. The first round being brought to you by Rocket Mortgage.
Yo, Dad, come play some ball. You're my dad.
I'm not your dad. Of course I'm your dad, son. I'm your dad. Would I be able to do this?
What are you doing?
I'm doing this. Make a switch. Uh-oh. Hey, Steve.
Here's the deal. There's no replacing real Chris Paul.
Come on.
Just like there's no replacing State Farm. Want the real deal? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
There's a name for the experience that brings you this close to the action.
Yeah, the spinning camp.
Actually, it's called True View, a new perspective on football.
Are you sure it's not the spinning camp?
Yes, I'm sure.
Life can throw you a curve. send you down an unexpected path. But navigating the rocky moments is part of the adventure. To help you discover what's been missing.
Bandit! Why did you run off?
Introducing the 2021 Telluride Nightfall Edition.
I use ice cream as kind of for medicinal purposes, you know.
This would be so good for dinner.
Very crispy. Spicy.
Delicious.
A little tang.
Crunch.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Pops are everything.
If you're going to be an entrepreneur, it'll be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. We are 6 locations, about to be 7 locations, and 250 team members. COVID changed a lot of things. God willing, we're going to come out on the other side stronger as a company, but it is not for the faint of heart. It's been a hell of a year.
Here at Innovative Ledgers of Houston, we are abiding by all CDC guidelines, so rest assured that your safety is our priority. One of our key ingredients that we use to help our patients with their weight loss journey is the use of our Verona laser. The Verona laser is amazing because it offers no downtime, no swelling, no bruising, no pain, no heat, no cold.
So I signed up and I saw immediate results after the first treatment.
Call us today for your free consultation and find out how the Verona laser can help you.
We're back in the studio, and it's on again.
I will not stop until I see real change. Basketball is back. NBA style. It's a whole new game. You cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
Welcome back to the NBA playoffs. Fourth quarter, Jazz are up big over the Denver Nuggets. Rudy Gobert is having quite a game already with 24 points and 14 boards, but that's on the offensive end. What does he do defensively? Well, he's been nothing but consistent for the last several years. In fact, the Utah Jazz started a campaign to promote him to try to get Defensive Player of the Year again. They created this mock comic book because obviously he's a superhero and all of his stats go along with it. They've kept this thing going. He's hoping to repeat and get it for the 3rd consecutive year.
Well, I think the issue, we talked about it earlier, you know, block shots are one thing, how you defend the paint the other, but he also rebounds at a much higher rate than the other people that'll be in the mix. So how the voters look at it kind of remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of bigs always have the edge, so to speak. And also not just the block shots, it's just his presence influences and dictates a lot on the defensive end that other guys can't do. You know, just him being in the lane, you know, is an influencer.
Well, the other thing is, if you ask Brad Stevens, he would say Marcus Smart is the best defender in the league.
You know, wasn't there something that said that Marcus Smart wasn't in the top, wasn't included in that?
Bol putting that down. Well, to me, one of the greatest seasons ever is when Michael Jordan averaged 38 and was named Defensive Player of the Year in the same year.
And extremely difficult to do both, but as a professional, as what you look at it, Marcus Smart is one of those guys that year in and year out, you know is going to compete on the defensive end.
Moutier hitting that 3. Well, with all the pace and space and wing players, it can't always be a center that automatically is Defensive Player of the Year, but you can't watch a Rudy Gobert game as Ball misses the 3 and not realize the impact Rudy Gobert has defensively.
Totally agree.
Hey, Rajon Tucker raising up.
Well, I saw him warming up, you know, early. He had a bounce to his step, you know, just itching like, okay, if I get in, I'm going to let a couple of them go.
That's all right. Tucker's got 5.
Good shots, too.
Yeah.
It's not like he's just hunting for shots. And, again, that's really important at the end of the game is that even though you're in the second unit, you have the blowout, continue to kind of run your offense a little bit and take the shot when you're open.
So now, let's say this before the next basket as the shot clock is barely beaten by Tucker. Look at the Utah scores in the 3 games. 125, 124, 124. They're right there. And Celtics, Sixers are on the way. Clippers, Mavericks. We got a great slate on TNT. in the bubble this evening on the air ball. 125, 124, 124 in the 3 games by the Jazz. Problem is, Denver's not scoring 135. Right now in the final 5 seconds. So the Utah Jazz, they lose game 1, bounce back impressively in games 2 and 3. The return of Mike Conley, 27 to lead all scorers, and then 20 for Mitchell and 24 for Gobert. Quinn Snyder couldn't have written a better script.
But that's called handling your business. Coming in, understanding what the game plan was, executing that game plan to perfection, sharing the basketball offensively and defensively, coordinating, working together, and then having your veteran leader at point guard back to kind of reinsert himself with a certain rhythm, says a lot about this makeup of this Utah Jazz team.
Well, Mike Conley escaped quarantine, and Denver couldn't lock him up at all. Stephanie Reddy is alongside Mike Conley.
Thank you so much. First things first, congratulations on the birth of the new baby to you and Mary.